what's up everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. At some point, you might think that your state is the absolute worst in America. But statistically speaking, it probably isn't. I ranked this list according to their economy, safety, education, cost of living, and quality of life among other things. Okay, so quick disclaimer, these states aren't all completely hopeless, except maybe Mississippi, but the cons definitely outweigh the pros. They will need to take years really seriously to turn things around. But there are some people that want to move to another state and start a new life there. But a lot of states might be even worse than your current situation. I already made the first part of this list, so check it out if you haven't already. But today, I'm gonna show you top 10 worst states to live in the US part 2. Number 5. Arkansas. It's ironic that Arkansas was nicknamed the land of opportunity, because it's really more like the lack of opportunity. Sure, it's the third cheapest state in the country, but aside from the Fayetteville area, which is actually a pretty good place to live in with a thriving economy, I don't know anyone who would want to live here. Between the high crime rate, awful healthcare, terrible schools, low quality of life, and poverty rate of 18.9%, things are just bad. And the poverty rate for children is even worse, at a whopping 26%, which actually makes a lot of sense considering Arkansas has both the highest divorce and teenage pregnancy rate in the nation. Arkansas also has the fifth highest property and violent crime rates in the country. And if you'll go to the cities like Little Rock, it's even more dangerous. But to be fair, you don't have to duck at every gunshot you hear. Well, unless you are a duck, because duck hunting is a big thing here. More ducks are actually hunted in Arkansas than any other state. Number 4. Mississippi. Now, before everyone will hate this state, I'll be honest, the Mississippi has actually improved a lot. 2 or 3 years ago, Mississippi probably would be number 2 or even number 1. But while it isn't the worst state to live in anymore, it still stinks. Despite recent improvements, Mississippi still has the highest unemployment rate of 5.6%, the highest poverty rate at 21.5%, the third worst schools in the country, and it's tied with West Virginia as the most obese state. Mississippi is also the poorest state, which makes sense that there are literally no high-paying jobs. And while another one of its nicknames might be the hospitality state, there are no protection against discrimination of any kind here. Mississippi has the highest rate of deaths due to heart disease, breast cancer, and diabetes. It also has the second worst accessibility to hospitality. I guess that all these stressful factors contribute to the fact that Mississippi also has the lowest life expectancy in the country at just 74.5 years on average. But on the bright side, the violent crime rate is a lot lower than the national average. So maybe there is some southern hospitality after all. Number 3. New Mexico. Sure, New Mexico might have the most PhDs per capita of any state, but all these smart guys still can't figure out the way to make their state not suck. In contrast to all those degrees, New Mexico has one of the absolute worst public schools and the lowest high school graduation rate at just 71%. Maybe that's why the state also has the fourth lowest median household income, fourth highest unemployment rate, and, unsurprisingly, the second highest poverty rate at 19.7%. But worst of all, New Mexico is the most dangerous state. Now, there are a few reasons for this, including a terrible drug problem and Mexican cartels having a huge presence in the cities, as well as the wage gap between rich and poor is the highest in the country. There isn't much economic growth or opportunity either. Because of this, New Mexico leads the nation in pretty much every type of crime. And quality of life here just isn't great, which really is a shame considering how much potential the state has. The landscape is breathtaking, with nearly 300 sunny days a year. The culture is rich, centuries in Native American and Spanish history. And there is just a magical and spiritual feeling in the air. I mean, it's called the Land of Enchantment. To be honest, I highly recommend to visit this state. Just maybe don't bring your most expensive car, because there is a decent chance that it'll be stolen. Number 2. Louisiana. You're probably starting to see a trend that a lot of the states on this list are in the South, and they are poor with little opportunity. And Louisiana is no exception. In fact, Louisiana was ranked as the most corrupt state of 2019. Maybe all political corruption explains why Louisiana has the third worst healthcare, second worst education, second worst economy, fifth highest unemployment rate, fourth highest obesity rate, the most corrupt prison system, and ranked absolutely dead last in terms of opportunity. It's also very easy to have a gambling problem here, since Louisiana is the only state other than Nevada that allows casinos. If that doesn't leave you broke, then the sales tax that range anywhere from 9 to 12% probably will. Now, on the plus side, the food here is amazing. But that's probably the only good thing in Louisiana. Now, before we'll get to number 1, some honorable mentions that just missed the cut but still pretty terrible are South Carolina, Nevada, Indiana, Oklahoma, Kentucky, and for some reason everyone who lives in Illinois says that this is the worst state. It's just not. Sorry. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think the worst state is. And now, number 1. Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. More like not so sweet home Alabama. Considering the 18% poverty rate, worst public school system in the country, high crime rate, awful health care, and the absolute worst quality of life in America. Alabama has the worst poverty in the developed world. The amount of people in the Cotton State living in homes not connected to the public sewer system is really high. Not to mention, it's one of only 5 U.S. states that lacks protection against discrimination for basically anyone. Alabama is having the worst quality of life in the United States isn't the only way you have to pay to live here. Because just like in Louisiana, The local and special sales taxes are also extremely high. Unless you just love college football and have to go to every Tide game, I really don't know why anyone would want to live here. Alright, so this was the second and final part of this list. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon, guys. Peace out and goodbye.